Hey everyone, this is Bwana from Bwana Hikes. So if you're a new person, welcome. If you're a family, thank you for joining me on my hike. I'm going to do a gear review on what I'm taking on the trail with me, and I'm going to try to make this video kind of short and sweet. First off, everybody always asks about the big three, and I'm using a Climate Motion 60 airframe backpack. It's not the lightest backpack in the world, but it gets the job done. It's small enough so I'm not overpacking, and it's light enough where it's not ultralight, but it's still a nice light pack. And with the airframe, it feels it's very comfortable to me, and it feels very much like a full frame pack. I have your obligatory sit pad, which I'll be using with another one of my items on the list. Down here, we've got my Life water bottles, my Sawyer squeeze. I'm going to be using that. For a cooking system, I'm using a full-size Jetboil. I've looked at the Jetboil stash. It's on my list perhaps to get at some point, but right now I'm going to go with the Jetboil. I've used this for literally 20 years. I've used Jetboils. Love the damn things. They boil water in almost no time. I've got a nice little, I call it a koozie for packaged foods, and as when I do my food review, you'll see that I like to use Mountain House and those kind of dehydrated meals, so that works great. You put the food in there. There's a lot of instructional videos on how to make those, so I'm sure you can find one if you're interested, but you just put the pouch inside there, you open it up, you boil your water in the Jetboil, you dump it in. Within 5 minutes you got a meal. I don't have to mess around with all that kind of stuff. I'm also taking a very small microfiber towel that it's really handy for wiping out your tent if it gets damp inside there, so you don't have to roll out a sleeping bag or anything else into water. And I am actually going to take a shower with me. Probably 15 years ago, I went hiking in Yellowstone, and my wife insisted that we would take a shower with us, and I told her that was fine as long as she carried it. And she came up with a shower curtain made out of Tyvek and one of those solar showers. Well, I'm modified it quite a bit, and then I took a cap off of a Life water bottle, drilled some holes in it. It'll fit on my dirty water bottle, which is the larger one, and I'll wash my hair and my beard and everything else, and I don't have to worry about it. As you can see inside my water kit, I've got a knock. So I can do the gravity fill, and then I've got the flushing device inside here. I'll probably get rid of this. This isn't necessary, and it's just extra weight I don't need. For a sleeping pad, I have a Climate V. I don't remember the exact model number, but it's a nice, comfortable mattress. I've used it for a couple years now, and it works for me. I know it's a little bit heavier than some of the ultralight ones, and maybe I'll feel a little differently after I get out on the trail, but I'm a side sleeper. It works great for side sleeping. So, and I don't roll off of it, and I don't seem to slide around on the thing. So that's pretty much what I need. Down here, I've got a Climate X pillow. Again, you'll see I use a lot of Climate equipment. I like it. It's reasonably priced, and it gets the job done for me. Not telling anybody what they need or they don't need. Inside here, this is my sleeping quilt. This is a 30-degree sleeping quilt, which I'm going to carry with me most of the time on the trail. And also inside here, I have a sleeping bag liner. And what I found hiking on the Appalachian Trail in Massachusetts a few years back, when it got really warm in August, all I did is slept in the sleeping bag liner, and the quilt just laid off to the side. And when I got chilled, I'd throw it over. But I really like the quilt. This is a do-it-yourself quilt. I got to give a shout out to Joe Brewster from Backyard Banner. If you're interested, he's got the instructions on how to make one of these things, and it worked out awesome. I've used it Bryce Canyon, Zion, all different kind of places, and I've used it down to 20 degrees with the sleeping bag liner, and I'm a warm sleeper, and it works for me, so it might not be the perfect thing for you. A pair of the Cascade carbon fiber hiking poles with, of course, some duct tape already rolled up on them. So what I have here is my tent. It's way heavy. It's around 4 pounds, maybe even a little bit more than that. It has aluminum tent poles, and it's a one-man tent. It's got a ginormous vestibule in it. This is my ground chair slash vestibule ground cloth. This is the tent ground cloth, and one of the things I really like about this tent is I can set it up in the rain and not get the inside of the tent wet. And yes, it is real heavy, and I may feel different about it after a few miles, but we'll see. Right now, that's what's going with me, and that's all I can tell you. And then as we move back over here again, we've got obviously some Ziploc bags, a wallet. I've got a sketch pad with a 2HB and a 2H pencil. I'm not carrying any more than that. If I see something I want to sketch, I'm going to sketch it. I've got a write in the rain pad for keeping a journal with a mechanical pencil, and I guess I could have just used one of the other ones, but I really want to use those for sketching. I've got a white and red headlamp that's, again, probably way too heavy, and I could get something lighter, but this works for me, so that's what I've used. This is a nice little Gerber serrated knife, and I really like this. I actually went out and bought a SOG knife thinking it would be lighter. Weighed them side by side, and they weigh exactly the same amount. This is, not only is it a Gerber, but it's also serrated, and it's got a solid blade where the SOG didn't have a solid blade. It had a lightning hole in it, and so if I needed to, I could actually use this with a rock and use it kind of as an axe. First aid kit, basic stuff that you expect to find in a first aid kit. I've got a lighter, I've got some Leuco tape, I've got some vitamin I, I've got an extra pair of, or set of batteries, and I might actually have too many, so I'll have to go in there and clean those out. I've got some double-sided Velcro, which I find is incredibly useful. The toenail clippers, I'm not borrowing somebody else's. A couple waterproof matches, some dental floss, some Imodium AD, and that kind of stuff. And then this is a miniature towel. If you ever fall into a river or you get wet and you really need to dry off quick, this is one of those dehydrated towels. They work really good. I'm not cutting down my toothbrush, and I've got a miniature bottle of toothpaste, some medicine for myself. I have one, and I know it weighs all of a gram or two, but I've got one clothes clip. I got a spare carabiner, which I may just drop because I've got 3 of them hanging on my pack. Obviously some chapstick, a small bottle of sport shampoo, and then some 97% DEET, which you definitely need. I'm going to go with a wallet, and then these MaxiFlex gloves. They're stretchable gloves. These are great for 40-degree weather and above. Also, they tend to force the water back up out of your hands, so if you've ever had a problem where your hands swell when you're hiking, you put on a pair of those, and that helps to get the water back, or the blood back out of your hands and back up into your body. Also, I have a nice mosquito net for my head. This right here is my foul weather or my rain equipment. This is a rain kilt. Again, I got the plans from Backyard Banner. Works great. It only goes down to my knees, but I hike with bare legs 99% of the time, so that's not a big deal. My legs generally stay pretty darn warm. I have a Frog Togs jacket for rain weather, and since they're only about $12-15, if something happens to it, I'll get another one. I'll be hiking with a hat. It probably won't be this one, but this one I've hiked with for hundreds and hundreds of miles. Really like the thing, but I'm gonna switch over to a trucker's hat with a mesh back and see if that's a little bit cooler on the trail, especially when it starts getting warm up in Virginia and all that kind of stuff. Some ex officio boxers with running shorts. These are Meyer running shorts. I really like these. I just bought this pair. In fact, I just got them. They have a zipper across the back where you can put a wallet in there, so when I go to town I can use those in town, put my wallet in it, don't got to worry about it. And they've got pockets, which I know a lot of other people don't have zippers in their pockets. These even have zippers on the pockets. And then I've got a long sleeve water wicking shirt. It's a bay leaf water wicking shirt. Really like it. Had it for a few years now. seems to wear pretty good. I'll probably get another one. And then for a long sleeve layering type shirt, I've got one of the Columbia shirts there. Inside this bag is my down puffy jacket. It's one of the, I think it's a Redhead brand from Cabela's. It's a little bit heavier than some of the other ones, but I've used it down to about 0 degrees and haven't had any issues. Hopefully this is going to be one of the first things to get sent back. Other cold weather stuff is I've got a little beanie. It's a dragon fur. Used to work for a power company, and we used a lot of FR equipment, so that's a FR hat. It's really warm, covers my ears, does a really good job. I've got a Bamberg Castle, also known as Bebenberg for all you people that watch that Uhtred video. I've never seen it, but I've read the books, but got this from Bamberg Castle. It's just a buff just like any of the other ones. And then I've got a set of Windstopper semi-waterproof gloves. They seem to be waterproof until it really rains, and then they get wet, but they do keep my fingers still pretty warm, so not too worried about that with the stretching gloves. And these combined, my hands still stay pretty warm all the way down to about 20 degrees. And then I have a pair of Under Armour running tights that I used when I ran the marathon. They kept my legs nice and warm. And then I've got a nice little long sleeve thermal layer that I can put on if I really need it. And I actually tested this out when I went to England in February, March, just before COVID hit, and this combined with a shirt and my long sleeve shirt, I had no problems. I was plenty warm. So they've already been tested in some pretty nasty weather, and hopefully I won't see that on the trail. I've got some Belega running socks. Then I've got some Wigwam wool socks, another pair of running socks. I'm going to go with these instead of what everybody else goes with because, well, I ran marathons in these. I didn't have any problems with them. They got pretty good cushioning in them. They seem to wear pretty good, and they're comfortable, and I already have them. So, and speaking of that, I have a pair of Brooks Cascade trail runners that I actually originally bought to run my marathon a couple years ago, and I ran in them on the roads for a while, and they just played hell with my feet. So I went back and got a pair of running shoes, and I've had these around, and they're already broken in, so they're only going to last a few 100 miles. But as you can see, the bottoms are almost worn out. But at least I've got something that's I can start the trail in. And then I've got another pair of Brooks trail runners that I just bought. They're Cascadias, similar to these, but it's a much newer model, and I'm going to have those shipped out to me when I need them. This is my food bag. This has actually got 5 days of food with snacks and everything else in it, so it is plenty stuffed. I mean, I have more room, but it'll hang. Your obligatory rock bag that everybody absolutely has to have. So, but and anyway, that's everything that's in my backpack. All of this stuff here inside that pack, including the food, runs right at about 30 pounds. So 5 days of food. It's a little heavy, but it's not horrible. I'm going to start the trail off with 3 days of food. I'm going to bounce a couple boxes ahead of me, and we'll go with that to minimize the amount of crap I'm carrying the first few weeks. Electronic equipment. So this is a 20,000 milliamp hour Anchor battery, which I'm going to carry. It's IQ, so it should charge pretty quick. I'm pointing at the phone. I'm using my Samsung S20 on the trail. That's what I'm going to be videoing with. I'm using InShot video editing software, so I can edit there, and I'll send those up hopefully every day or every other day. I'll try to get a video sent up. But the Samsung, I'm going to be using the Samsung super fast charger. Takes about an hour to charge my phone. With the Anchor, it takes a couple hours, but still, it's not horrible. Hopefully I'll be able to take the Anchor and get rid of it, because this phone seems to do really well with batteries, unless I'm playing games or something stupid. The only bad thing about this is it's an older style. It's got the old micro USB instead of the new C style, so I have to carry 2 cords, which is kind of silly. And then my daughter bought me a nice tripod for my phone. This is my selfie one. I can fold the legs together really nicely, and once you fold them together, you've got a great little selfie stick, and it holds the phone awesomely. So, and a lot of the stuff I have here, I'll give a shout out to my family. They bought a lot of this stuff for me, picked it up and helped me out getting this stuff, and I really appreciate it. So anyway, hopefully the next video will go up in a couple days, get that posted. It'll be on what's in my food bag, and it's not a big secret. It's basically Mountain House and some other junk, but you can watch that video. It should be posted.